September 8th of 2023. My name is Milk. This is Dave, or Diamond Dave as he's affectionately known in other parts, and the Crow's Nest. But we're just heading out this morning. We're going on a little motorcycle ride, father-son kind of thing, going down maybe as far south as Coeur d'Alene and back up into Alberta there. But yeah, we discussed things on the breakfast table there, the plan the route we're gonna take and whatnot. Of course, we only went like about 50 kilometers and changed the route, and now we're just in Kaslo here in front of the SS Moye, and behind us here, they're just rebuilding that. So this is the first leg of our 3-day weekend. We're just gonna take our time, go through all these twisties down in the Kootenays and by Kootenay Lake here, down through Nelson and across the border down there at Medellin Falls. So we'll catch up to you later. Did you need to say anything there, Dave?
Oh yeah.
Okay, well.
Yeah. How the trip started is we were at the breakfast table discussing things, and then it was mentioned, geez, first thing was gonna happen, probably drop the damn bike. Well, and of course, if you're going to drop the damn bike, you just might as well stop right there and start the drinking. And of course, what happened? Drop the damn bike. Right in the driveway. It's that guy.
That was me. First time I dropped my Indian. And, well, anyway, a learning curve around there is trim your driveway up. Don't let it grow full of weeds so you catch your boot on it as you're going by and suck yourself over on your side. So anyway, that was my learning this morning already.
Yeah, no damage was done though. No bikes were harmed in the making of this film.
Anyway, we're going to shut her down and shut the camera down, and we're going to head her on out down the highway here, head her into Nelson for fuel. Okay, we're not too far out of Kaslo, just heading down to Nelson, and of course now we got the infamous construction zone here, so we're probably hanging out for 20 minutes and be on our way. After we got through with that construction area there, we just cycled all the way down there to Salmo, the last town on the Canadian side before the border, and stopped there for lunch, a little burger and a beer. And stopping at Salmo is always an interesting little stop there. It's a pretty old vintage hotel, one of the oldest hotels in southern BC there. So yeah, from there we just headed across the border and made it down into Old Town, Idaho. A few days after we left there, and just a day or two after we got back home, the Salmo Hotel sadly caught fire and destroyed the roof. Well, we made it to Old Town, Idaho, and here we are. I got Diamond Dave there whittling up some firewood. We're going to set up a fire here beside the river, put up our tents, a couple of beers, and then that'll be calling her a day.
Yep.
We'll get after the darn motorcycling again tomorrow. Pretty nice little campsite we got here. Got the bikes in the distance over there. Pretty big site.
Already I lost my new lighter.
Oh, and then we're not much for campfires because we can't keep track of a lighter. It's a good thing we had some oily paper towels there from checking the dipstick, and had to put oil in the bikes there this afternoon, so that's going to help getting this here damp wood going. Well, Dave there, he's doing all right there. He's got the fire just blazing there, and look at that, went all the way to Idaho to have a kokanee. Well, this sucks. This is as far as I got with my tent. Dave and I started our tent at the same time. Mine is flat on the ground yet. I've got one pole halfway in it, and Dave over there, he's got the goddamn pop-up tent. Can you believe that? He lays that out on the ground and hits that top button and it pops up. I can't believe it. That wood that the campground was selling was actually pretty punky or damp there, so it took a little shaving and a little help there to get it going. But we finally got it going. There's Dave's tent. He has one of those pop-up things. It's pretty easy to set up. Only took him a couple of minutes, and and he was done with that. Got his gear in the tent and everything, and there's mine, and I have to put poles together and put it up, but it doesn't really take that much either, and it was all set up there pretty quickly. Got the air mattress going in there and a sleeping bag, and now we're just sitting there. Apparently Dave, he's got to send back some communications to the home front after the end of the day, having a couple beer. We'll see you in the morning. Here we are early in the morning, and this here's an example of 20 years difference in age.
Alright, let's get after it. Let's kick some ass and take some names.
I'm quite a bit slower to get out of the darn tent than Dave is there, but that's what happens with 20 years difference in age. So a little slower when you get older, that's for sure, but I wouldn't trade this here whole weekend for anything.
I'm ready.
Another difference of 20 years is there's my progress. There's Dave's progress already packaged up. Man, it sucks to be old. We backtracked into Newport, Washington there for breakfast early in the morning there. This is about 7 o'clock in the morning, and ended up talking to this old biker there riding a Cowie, I think 1400. And then we got on down the road, and this is just a viewpoint that we stopped at there just to take it all in, take a break. All day yesterday and so far today, even though it's early morning and it's actually quite nice out riding. It's been perfect weather so far. While we're parked at the viewpoint there, I noticed Dave's tire there has been well used. Hopefully we'll make it to the end of the journey. We continued on our way across Idaho and almost into Montana. Here we come across this active quarry that the guy operating it there, he's still selling rock and stuff out of it, but it's got it just chock full of old cars and trucks and tractors and equipment, and nothing for sale, no parts for sale. I even come across this little cub, international cub in the lineup, of which I just got one that's identical to that. It was kind of neat to see. But anyway, we're off to Montana. Got into Ignace, or Ignatius, I think it was, Montana, and this little dive bar. I've never seen a long, drawn-out old fly strip like that for many, many years. But here they got one just straight in front of you as you're sitting at the bar. But anyway, we run into this here old jet. He come along and approached us there. He's got his little handiwork available, and he's just selling it, of which he made the big sale to Dave there. He got the one on the gentleman's left-hand side or the right-hand side of the screen, and got that for $8 or $10, and Dave was happy. The old guy's happy. He had another beer, and then we just continued on upward toward the park at East Glacier. This is officially Crocs back down in Canada, just on the Cardston crossover into Canada. Here's Dave. He's coming through the Canadian side there, and then we continued on up into Bellevue back to Dave's place and had a little cookout and spent the night and left in the morning. This is the last shot of Dave's tire, front tire, and it's pretty threadbare, but still holding air, so I guess he'll run her till fall, get a new one in the spring.
See you, Dad. Ride safe.
Well, it's Monday now, and it's the infamous 9/11 date, anniversary date for 9/11. This is 2023, so I guess it's 22 years since that event. But anyway, it's just a wrap up of my little 3-day ride there with my son Dave. Yeah, we had a pretty good time. We spent a couple nights in the States there with a tent, and pretty good experience. We didn't camp out per se, you know. We just had a fire in the evening and a few beers, and off on the bike in the early morning. Ate in restaurants all the time. I spent last night at Dave's place in Bellevue, and that was pretty good. He was glad to be home, and I left there, and we had a little cookout there last night, him and his lady friend there. We had burgers and a few drinks there, some laughs, some good times. Now here it is today. I'm headed home. So I'm currently parked just in a nice little meadow here just off the Moyet River. It's off to straight ahead of me here. On the other side of my bike here, I got the camera held up on the handlebars. So just a couple of learnings there we had. Yesterday, for one, early in the morning, we went to go across the Road to the Sun between West Glacier and East Glacier there, down in just below the border there. And we didn't realize it, but you got to have a vehicle reservation now to go across the Road to the Sun. You can go after without a reservation after the 3 o'clock afternoon time, but pretty late in the day to ride across there at this time of year. And it was so busy, it took us, I'll bet you, 45 minutes to get off the highway and up to close to the gate where we were informed we need a reservation. It was a lot of stop and go, riding the clutch and stopping the engine and so forth and so forth. But kind of a disappointment in that regard. On top of needed a reservation, the main reason for that was because of the popularity of the park, that ride, that drive. Bumper to bumper traffic, so I'm not really too sad that we didn't get to do it, because I didn't want to necessarily ride that road at 10 kilometers an hour, you know, start and go, and then there'd be somebody at the viewpoints parked all over the place. So it wouldn't have been that enjoyable. We went around the south and east part of that park and up, which was just as nice. And another learning I've learned just recently about this Indian Roadmaster bike. I check the oil, you know, regularly every morning, but yesterday morning when I checked it, there was 0 oil on the dipstick, and kind of surprised me. I thought, well, that's pretty odd. I ran out of oil, almost run the oil or engine right dry. But we put a quart of oil between the two of us, Dave and I. We had almost a liter of oil, or a quart of oil, and put that in the bike there before I started it up, and that brought it up on the stick, that's for sure. But we went out for down the road about 5 miles for breakfast, and doubling back to at this gas station, went to gas up and checked the oil again, maybe get some more oil in it, and here the darn oil come right out of the dipstick hole, flowed out onto the gas station pad there. And so I was kind of like shocked over that. So we had to go and get a cup, plastic cup with a straw, and dip the oil out of the darn engine there until we got it down to a decent level. And then now it's we almost pulled almost a full liter out. So I don't know what's all about that. I googled it and seen if anybody else was Roadmaster 111 cubic inch engine was doing that. Apparently, yeah, it is a semi-dry sump, and sometimes it vacates that cavity altogether and there's no oil in that cavity where the stick is. So I don't know. That's a weird darn thing. That's kind of a poor engineering thing as far as I'm concerned. Had a lot of statements on the thread there about that question, and yeah, they say, well, just change the oil, put the 4.5 quarts back in, and call her good, don't worry about it. But I don't know. No oil on the stick is kind of a worrisome thing to me, especially when you're in a different country and you're a long ways from home. But anyway, it seems to be running good there today, and we'll check the oil again. It was up properly where it was supposed to be this morning when I checked it when I left Bellevue. But anyway, that was the learnings for it. And but yeah, we've seen some really nice country and quite enjoyable. Enjoyed riding with my son there. That was the first time we rode together for a few years now, so it was all good. Another thing about I made a video earlier about Ride the Dark Side, and I'm not 100% sold on the car tire on the back of the bike. It does make a big difference for maneuverability around the slow-moving areas like the gas stations, etc., restaurants, wherever you're going in, or even campgrounds, you know, uneven ground. It seems to really throw things off, for me anyway. And the only thing I have to say about it, it better give me 40,000 kilometers for the life of that tire. Otherwise, I don't think it's worth the darn hassle at all. You know, unstable, slow maneuvering, the stability of it when you're going around service stations and stuff. So, but anyway, we're just going to hang out here. There's right in front. I'm sitting on a memorial bench from somebody put in memory of somebody here. It's a memorial bench. It's a nice little view, and it's a good place to have a libation there. Having a little break in the ride here. So we'll be on our way in a few minutes, and ride safe out there, you guys. We'll catch up to you later. Once I had the trip completed and was editing this footage here to publish, found out that the Salmo Hotel, one of the old hotels that Dave and I stayed in, it's over 100 years old. We didn't stay there. We had lunch there, pardon me, and we were just talking about the subject of, you know, when you get a chance, do it, because these old hotels and things aren't going to be around forever. And we had mentioned that, you know, you never know, it could possibly burn at any time. Who knows? But anyway, as luck would have it, that's what happened. It destroyed the roof, and hopefully they can save it. The main part of the hotel is fine. It's just got to replace the roof, maybe, and a lot of water damage. But anyway, that being said, we can take that learning right into the weekend that I shared with Dave and riding, and I'm glad I did it, because you never know what's in the future, and who knows, one or the other of us might not be around to have that accomplished, but we got that off the bucket list. Anyway, ride on, be safe, and we will catch up to you later.